Hi. I'm John.
And I'm Jessica. And we will be going over the Bill of Rights and explaining what each amendment means in detail.
Let's do it. Here we are, in the Oval Office. As you may know, the Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments of the U.S. Constitution, ratified on December 15, 1791. Jessica, tell the audience about the First Amendment.
The First Amendment states that each individual has the freedom of speech, press, religion and petition. This allows people to speak freely, follow any religion they desire or no religion at all, to communicate with the government and gives press the right to publish freely. John, please explain the Second Amendment to our viewers.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. My name is Jessica.
Carrying on, the Second Amendment gives people the right to bear arms, which means it protects the right of individuals to own a gun to protect the state as well as themselves. Not arm bears, but bear arms. Since I'm on a roll, let me talk about the next amendment as well. The Third Amendment is quartering of soldiers. The Army cannot force homeowners to let soldiers stay in their house and feed them, if the homeowner doesn't wish to do so.
Thanks, John. The Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution is the right of search and seizure regulated. This amendment prohibits the government to improperly take an individual's property, papers or even the people, without a valid warrant based on illegitimate reason.
Let's take a break, shall we? Just kidding. Moving on to the Fifth Amendment. People have the rights in criminal cases. This amendment protects you from being accused of a crime unless you really committed a crime. You will not be charged for the same crime twice, which is referred to as double jeopardy, and you cannot be forced to testify against yourself. Also, your property cannot be taken without just compensation.
And by double jeopardy, he's not talking about the movie with Ashley Judd. LOL. Heading straight for number 6. The Sixth Amendment permits rights to a fair trial. It basically allows you to defend yourself as much as possible in court. The jury cannot have a set mind to accuse you of being guilty. You can confront witnesses against them, and you have the right to have a lawyer.
Thanks, Jessica. Let's take the remainder of the show outside and catch some fresh air. We have a special guest coming out to inform you about the last 4 amendments.
He's the 44th and first African-American President of the United States. None other than President Barack Obama.
Thanks for taking the time and being with us this afternoon, Mr. President.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. It's not like I was busy or anything.
On to lucky number 7. Can you tell us what does the 7th Amendment of the Constitution state?
This amendment allots the right in civil cases. A jury trial in federal civil court cases is guaranteed. The right of trial by jury is preserved if the controversy's value exceeds $20, and no fact by the jury can be re-examined in any other court in the United States, under the rules of the common law.
$20 you say? Huh. Interesting.
Mr. President, how would you explain the 8th Amendment to our audience?
The 8th Amendment is simple: bails, fines and punishments. Let me expand on this. Excessive bails are not required, extraordinary fines are not to be set, and all punishment is guaranteed to be fair and not cruel.
An amendment can't get any simpler than this, John.
No, it can't. On to the next one. The 9th Amendment states.
John, let me handle this. The 9th Amendment is rights retained by the people. Not every right is listed, which means that there are rights that exist aside from the ones in the Constitution. Therefore, just because they may not be listed, it doesn't mean they can be violated.
Well, would you look at that? We're almost running out of time. Mr. President, can you conclude the show with the last amendment, please?
Of course. Last but not least, the 10th Amendment is powers retained by the states and the people. This is another simple one. Any right or power that is not specifically granted to the federal government is reserved to the states respectively, or to the people.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well folks, this is the end of our educational coverage of the Bill of Rights.
We hope this was helpful and you learned something useful today. From front of the White House, I'm Jessica.
And I'm John.
And he's Barack. Have a good evening.
So this is a story all about how 10 amendments made us proud. I would like to take a minute, so stay right there and I'll tell you how Congress declared. At the start we got freedom of speech, followed by religion, petition, and impeach. Throwing up the deuces, I ain't making excuses, you got the right to bear arms if you're ever in harm. Which takes me to 3, there's a legal decree, if a soldier enters your home it better be for tea. If police come by while you're at your leisure, they better have a reason for their search and seizure. Innocent until proven guilty, I ain't saying it's a sure thing, but if you've played your cards right, you won't end up in Sing Sing. But come that day you're in front of a judge, you got the right to legal counsel and that won't budge. Lucky number 7, you got 12 people on your side to decide your fate while you get tried. If you get pulled over, then you're a fool, but don't worry, your punishment is gonna be fair, not cruel. There are rights outside of the Constitution, and no, you don't get to violate them, and that's the conclusion. Last but not least, there is number 10. States and people get the power when the federal government isn't involved and the problems are in our hands to be solved.